Just take the next right. Mr. Krabs, we just passed the turnoff.
Uh-huh.
My house is back that way, Mr. K.
Far out, little man. Far out.
Football, football. Football, football, football. Football, football, football. Football, football, football. Football, football.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Crossroads Fantasy Football League podcast. I'm tired. Will's tired. It's late. It's 10 o'clock. We're usually not starting this late, but we're here for the people, and we're going to get it done no matter what because the grind never stops. And William, we've got a lot to talk about tonight, and we're going to jump in, and we're just going to get it popping, get it ripping, and yeah, no holds bar. This might be our shortest podcast episode yet. We will see. So
2 hours.
2 hours at a minimum. So here we go. Recap quickly of last week. Let's just give it up to our boy Joel. You're not paying the penalty. You're not paying the penalty, and puts up a whopping 252 points. Makes a statement going out.
Second most for the entire season.
Second most for the entire season. Bo Nix drops 44.
Trey Henderson with 35.
35.
Sutton with 30. The Bronco boys broncoed.
Kyle Pitts, 53. Tight end for Atlanta out of nowhere. So, got to give it up for Joel. Kudos to you. You're not going to be in last place. Yeah, so we'll see where you end the season. When it all shakes out, I guess you and Caleb will play for the 5 or the 7, 8 spot.
Seventh.
So,
yeah, 7th, 8th. No, 8th, 9th. 8th, 9th?
No,
7th,
no,
8th.
7th and 8th spot. So we'll see where you guys flesh out. And also, like, kudos to Caleb, 181 points. I mean, that's one of his highest scoring games of the year. Didn't really need it. Gordon put up a whopping 109 points.
It was more than last week.
So there you go. So
I think this is a great thing with Caleb is that he did enough to not get in the playoffs, but he did enough to get the bye week, essentially, of going against Gordon in the playoffs. Like he didn't punch his ticket to the playoffs, but he did punch his ticket out of punishment by doing what he had to do. And
valid.
Like you said,
Valid.
We got to give a clap to both of them because they did enough to basically enter their own win, which is irrelevancy. We're not going to talk about you anymore because you are now officially irrelevant.
You're done.
So start taking notes for next season, and hopefully you can be relevant through the end of the season like the rest of us.
Yeah, that's right. So let's move ahead to the matchup for the penalty, which is Gordon versus your sleeper pick, Torrey. I mean, based off last week, Torrey scored 162. Gordon scored 109. I mean, Gordon scores 91 the week before. Week 13 he scores 108.
108, yeah.
Week 12 he scored 173. That was the week he beat Kevin. So that was the outlier. But week 11 he scored 125. I mean, if I'm being a realist here, I think that it's like we talked about. Gordon basically mortgaged the future of his team. I think that it would be shocking if he beats Torrey next week.
Yeah.
So
I think it's kind of a shame because I do feel like the king of last place is not as entertaining as it was last year, where it was like, that hard fought battle between Katie and Joel. And really in this, it's
Heather and Joel.
Sorry, Heather and Joel. My bad. Between Heather and Joel, and it just doesn't feel like that. It kind of just feels like unless an absolute upset happens, it's almost like Torrey at least has the bye week, which I don't think is fair for the league. I don't think it's fair. I think Torrey should be sweating next week, but she doesn't have to. Again, unless something crazy happens. Now, you never know. Drake May can do Drake May things. You got Hubbard. You got Kenneth Walker. Ugh, it just gets worse and worse every time I read it out. You still got DK Metcalf, which is great. And you got Ricky Part, but he's questionable. It's just bleak, man. What am I supposed to, when I'm looking at this team, what am I supposed to get out of this team? Who, I talked to Gordon about this and at church on Sunday, but who does he even keep for next season? We haven't even thought about that.
Yeah.
I guess it's Drake May. Who else do you keep?
Yeah, nobody. I mean, you got to remember he did pick up another first-round pick from Shawn, so he's got two first-rounders, second-round pick. So,
which is good. But I'm just thinking about who of his current team is he keeping? I guess it has to be Drake May, which is good. Drake May is a decent
you can't keep Jaden Daniels because that'd be your first-round pick, which is obvious.
Absolutely not. And he picked Drake May up in the 13th round, so that's a throwaway. And really, nobody else here is worth keeping for next year. You're almost keeping Drake May, not because he's fantastic, but because who else are you gonna keep? So I think overall, I don't think we need to deep dive it. Tori's team, I think is good enough to put up enough of the score. I think the one thing is CeeDee Lamb going to be back?
He was back. He was back this week.
Oh, he was back?
He scored 23 points for her.
Oh, he did.
I mean, she didn't really have a terrible week. Just Joel scored 250 points.
That's fair.
She put up 160. It wasn't like she put up a goose egg. So,
yeah.
What
if you had to put in a percentage? What is the percentage that Gordon? Because remember, Gordon did have a 200-point week. He did.
He did.
What is the percentage that Gordon actually wins this upcoming week and Tori is our biggest loser, is our king or queen of last place?
I would put it at a 5% chance Gordon wins.
Yeah. I'm putting it at a 5% as well. I mean, if we look at the Tori's players, Ertz goes against Washington. AJ Brown goes against Washington, and because the Cowboys lost last week, this game is if the Eagles win, they're in the playoffs.
Oh, so it's a big game.
It's a big game. They need to win this game if they want to secure playoffs. I'm actually going to be at that game, so that's going to be fun to watch. And Washington is just absolutely decimated. Cowboys are playing the Chargers. That might be a little bit of a hard game. I mean, who else does she have? Kenneth Gainwell. Pittsburgh goes after destroying Miami. They head out. They go against Detroit. So she does have a few, but it's not much to really ride home to. Rams go against Seahawks. That can still be a toss-up. So I think she has enough juice to at least get it across the line. Because in reality, Gordon has really only scored around the 100-point mark.
Yeah.
100, 110.
Except for the outlier week where he beat Kevin, he scored 170.
Yeah, so it's can she replicate another 160? No, but she could possibly not, but she could almost score a 140 and still win it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think her team's gonna. So if her team goes out and does a poor performance, I think you're looking at a 130-point game, which is still going to be enough to beat Gordon.
Yeah, so
it's just the reality. And Gordon's team's just got to blow up, which I don't think is going to happen. So
yeah, so I guess it comes down to Gordon needs to now start thinking, what's he going to do for his punishment? Is he going to do the ACT? Is he going to do the sign flipping?
I think he'll do the Waffle House for sure.
I think the Waffle House is the best one by far.
Yeah.
By far.
I agree. I do feel a little robbed that the battle for last place isn't as tight, I feel like. But, anything could happen, and it would be hilarious if Gordon did win.
We can imagine, because at this point, I'm not riding or dying with my sleeper pick. She's dead to me. So, I'm okay with her just burning in the fiery pits of the chasm that she has dug herself into. And honestly, she should, and I talked with her about it. I was like, Tori, what would you want to do? And she's like, I don't know what I'd want to do. I was like, why don't you do the Waffle House? And she's like, well, I can't have gluten. I'm like, they have gluten-free waffles. And I'm like, to you, this seems like a great idea. Get a few books, get a few audiobooks.
Oh yeah, she's gold.
You're talking about, if you have a gluten-free waffle an hour, that's 12 hours of just time away from the kids. Reading, catching up on your book readings. You're going to be so far ahead in all of your book club books. You're going to have Spark Notes out the wazoo of like everything.
She might throw the game.
She might throw the game. Maybe she'll just read the whole Bible and then give the next sermon. Who knows? Like, I think it's very beneficial overall. So, who knows? Maybe she'll just like axe her entire team. But yeah, I mean, the dreams of an upset would be hilarious. And I think that is the only thing that we can really ride on with this king of last place or queen of last place, is that when the chips are out, you never know when an upset's going to happen. And if an upset does happen, we will be there. We will be there. And it'll be fantastic.
All right. Moving on. So here we go.
Here we go.
We had Kevin versus Heather, and we had Shawn versus Katie. And let's just start with Kevin and Heather. I mean, at one point, it seemed like it was a back and forth battle.
Mm-hmm.
But once Jared Goff really got things going and Joe Burrow just put up a stinker of 17 points.
Oh, yeah.
It really didn't matter. I mean, she was 178 to 218. If she would have played Stafford, I think me and Heather does. Stafford, she picks up essentially 24 points there, which doesn't give her the win. And if she would have played Franklin instead of McConkey, she picks up 19 points. So 24, 19. Does that give her the win?
No. Because
Yeah.
she was 40 points behind.
Yeah, so she wouldn't have. It's 24. What's 24 plus 19? 34.
Wait, no, that would have gotten her the win. 34, 43. That would have gotten her 43. So she would have gone 78.
So 17. Let's just do it real quick. 42. I don't have my phone.
78, 88, 98, 208, 218, and then 19, 20. So yeah, she would have beaten Kevin by like 3 points, 4 points.
Got it. So she probably, the one coaching decision that I think you could be really critical of here is Joe Burrow going over Matt Stafford. But Matt Stafford's playing Detroit. Joe Burrow is playing Baltimore.
And did we really expect Joe Burrow? Like, did we expect Cincinnati to get skunked out by the Ravens?
No, we did not.
And he put up so much points the week before. The week before, he put up 39.
Yeah.
So, like, it was like the whole thing of like, oh, Joey B's back right for the playoffs. Like, I probably would have played him.
Yeah, because he went 30, 39, 17. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's a tough one. So if you want to be critical, maybe you say you should have played Stafford, but but Franklin, like I can't knock her on that. I mean, he went 5 points against Washington, 4 points against Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Then 23 points against Green Bay.
Yeah, and but it is also hard because it also kind of comes down to, and also Denver's going against Green Bay. Green Bay is a good defense. Lad McConkey has kind of been up or down. It's one of those things of like, I don't know if I would have put him in, but maybe I would have looked at waiver pickups. I mean, what did she do did she do anything in the waivers?
I think she picked up she picked up the defense. She picked up Jacksonville's defense.
Yeah, so could there have been some pickups on the waivers that might have been? Because here's my thing is like, as the resident Charger fan, my big question would have been, why are you playing McConkey this late in the season when Justin Herbert has no pocket protection because he has literally the worst O-line in the league? So he doesn't have time, to let Lad do his thing. So he's
literally I'm looking at the points on waivers. The highest available player who's not a quarterback would have been the Chicago Bears defense with 12 points.
Okay, well, that's
So,
fair. So it
yeah.
was just kind of written in the stars. I just don't know if I would have played a Charger wide receiver against a Kansas City defense in their such a situation.
Okay. But I mean, like, you're gonna sit here and really tell me you're gonna put in Franklin over Lad
No, that's
McConkey?
why I was saying, like, maybe you look at the waiver pickups and stuff like that. Like, I'm not saying that, like, oh, she should have had this absolute giga brain moment where she's like, oh no, Franklin is going to go off this week because the stars said it. No, I'm not saying that. I'm more saying I probably wouldn't have been comfortable putting Lad McConkey in. I don't know who the replacement would have been, but it does seem like unless she would have headed it, she wouldn't have gotten the right pick because no one else on her bench really did well besides Franklin, and no one on waivers did well either. So in the end, you know,
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And so that means that Rev Kev does enough to get it done behind Jared Goff with 42 points, Barkley with 20.
Good pick. Good pickup because he was telling me between the QBs whether he was going to put in Jackson or Goff, and he told me right before church started that he talked with Joel, his little secret spy, and Joel was like, Lamar Jackson is playing in Cincinnati, and it's in the cold. You should go with Goff. And I'll tell you what, doubled his points up. Helped him a lot.
It did. So, and then Cook with 35 points, and Amar St. Brown with a giant 50 bomb.
18 looks is ridiculous to see. 13 receptions, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7 first downs. I mean, that is a monster performance.
And then you double it up with Williams with 33, which is crazy.
Team's coming alive when it needs to. And
it's coming alive.
And he had the Chargers defense on his bench. He had Dalton Schultz on his bench as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he could have maybe had the highest score of the season right there if he would have played them.
He could have, because 49ers defense put up 0, so that would have gotten him 20 points. He's at 238. And then if he changed out, because his tight end only got him 4 points, so that'd be another 20. So he would have put another 41 points up. So it would have been it would have beat Joel, but it wouldn't have beaten my record when I got 260 something. It would have been just under. But still, I mean, 218. That is a great way after having a meme of a slide to really come out swinging at the beginning of the first round of playoffs. Throw up a 200-point bomb like that. How are you feeling going against Kevin?
I think we'll get to that. Let's get to that.
Okay.
We'll do that at the end. So let's jump over. We're going to go Shawn and Katie here. And going to be honest, kind of shocked to see 128 points out of Katie's team.
I'm not.
Really? I mean, that's a low score for me. I feel like I would at least like to see 150 out of her, but
we talked about the matchups last week. Green Bay is going against Denver, really good defense. Chargers are going against Kansas City, really good defense. Devontae Adams, Rams going against Detroit, another good defense. Buffalo going against New England, another good. Like this, she had one of the hardest matchups, of all time. Like every single person, the only one who didn't have a hard matchup was Christian McCaffrey, who was going against Tennessee, and he did, for his standards, he did nothing. For his standards,
yeah, he did nothing. And Devontae Adams goes out of the game early with a hamstring injury.
Rough.
So he's out early, and then Green Bay Packers defense, obviously with Micah Parsons. I guess he strained his ACL.
He tore his ACL. He's out.
He tore his ACL.
He's gone for the season.
So the Green Bay Packers defense just crumbles right there.
Yep.
So, I mean, just Dobbs puts up 7.6 points. Jordan Love, decent 28, but just
Baker put up 34.
It's really all falling apart for Katie right here, not just in fantasy, but for the Packers as well. It just seems like everything's going wrong for her. Even for her girl Tay-Tay, Travis Kelce gets kicked out of the playoffs, so he's done. So on all fronts for Katie, it just seems like the house is burning down and she's got to get the hell out of there. So it's just a rough sight for her.
Yeah, yeah, completely. And I thought this was foreseen overall. These matchups were tough, and I think we saw this a mile away. And I think all things considered, some of these players did pretty well. I think 28 points against a Denver defense is pretty good for a quarterback. I think Josh Jacobs putting up 25 points against a Denver defense is pretty good overall. So those two you can look at. I don't really know what happened with Christian McCaffrey. I don't know why, with 22 carries against a Tennessee defense, he only got 73 yards. That seems a little surprising with him. But, then we look over at the man, myth, legend, Shawn.
He just keeps getting it done.
This man cannot stop. And what's crazy is he, unlike Joel, he put the big bomb on the bench, which I don't blame him. But Trevor Lawrence, 59.8 points from a quarterback. Where did that come from? What is that?
No, I don't know what that is.
That is disgusting. And, it's kind of surprising and kind of scary when you look at it. But that is a huge bomb. But, that's on his bench. So, Katie avoided that nuke. But, Bijan Robinson against Tampa Bay, 37.5 points. Yuck. Chase Brown, even though this is surprising, Chase Brown, even though Cincinnati didn't put up a single point on the board against the Ravens, he still gets 21 points, 13 carries for 53 yards, catches 7 of his 7 receptions. That's where a majority of the points right there comes from.
Yeah.
And Chase Brown is online, and hopefully he stays online, for the rest of the season, even though Cincinnati are officially eliminated, so they're not really playing for anything. Fannin calmed down from his explosive game last week where he had 31 points. He got you 14, which is great. Eagles defense, man, they really showed 21 points, absolutely blowing out the Raiders. I mean, this is a dominant performance. 164, solid performance. I'm starting to see a little nervousness with Justin Jefferson. I believe this is back-to-back single-digit points for him.
It is, yes.
So it's back-to-back single-digit points for him, which is a little scary.
The Vikings went from not scoring a point to beating the Cowboys.
Yeah. Sorry, this is back-to-back single digits, 2.4, 4.1, and 6.0. They go against the Giants. Giants aren't great, but we're talking about him putting up nothing points against Seattle, Washington, and Dallas. 2 of those 3 defenses give up points to wide receivers. Yeah. So I don't really know what's going on with him, but he's not really coming up online. And then, Genty. Genty got 9 points for the fact that they didn't score anything. I mean, I guess that's something. But,
yeah.
What do you think about? I think there's a lot of good and a lot of bad. I see a few cracks in the armor for Shawn. I mean, do you think these cracks stay, or do you think, what do you think of the team overall as a whole?
I think that, his team is, honestly, I feel like Dak Prescott kind of underperformed for usually what he puts up. Usually he's getting around the 30s, so I think that's like a low score for him. Yeah. Look at his scores. It went these are his last 4 scores before this week: 40, 37, 44, 36, and 23. So, I think that that's a low score for him. So I think like that's a weak performance. Bijan. Justin Jefferson is the question mark there. Like, is he going to get back in the mix and add some points? Genty, I'm not surprised. McMillan, he's a feast or famine guy.
Yeah.
If Bryce Young's going to him and he's got the looks, he's going to score, or he's going to have 5.5 points. You know what I'm saying? He's a feast or famine kind of dude. So 40 points, but his scores 11, 11, 40, 14, 11, 23, 8, 18. It's just kind of like he had that one breakout week and the rest of it has not been that great. So I don't think you're going to see much different from him. So I think it really relies on Philadelphia's defense. Dak Prescott scoring well. Bijan's got to be Bijan,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's kind of where it's at. So I'm not concerned, but I think he's got the magic sauce, and I think this leads us perfectly into. Actually, before we jump into that, just real quick, for the fifth, sixth spot, how do you feel about Heather versus Katie? Who do you pick for that game?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see the Girly Girls fighting for fifth place down with the the patriarchy has stayed strong once again, as it should be, which is fantastic. So they're fighting. What I was about to say is, nah, that was a little bit of a line. I'm not going to say it. Um, Fighting for fifth place, I think right now, overall, I think Heather's got it. Um, I just think Katie's team is in absolute demise. Well, actually, let me look into it. I guess the big question is, yeah, it's not looking great. It's not looking great, but bruv, you're talking about Green Bay now goes against the Bears, who are absolutely popping off next week. So that's gonna be tough for your Green Bay boys. Christian McCaffrey goes against the Colts, which is a decent defense. That's gonna be hard. Chargers are going against the Cowboys. Might be some upside there, but again, I'm not trusting any Chargers. So overall, majority of your team is going to have other tough matchups. While Heather is still looking strong. Heather's team is looking strong as well. 178 is a good amount of points. It's just Kevin scored 200, which no one expected. So I'm going to give it to Heather. I think Heather secures that fifth place.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm in the same boat. I just think Katie's team is kind of in shambles right now with injuries and issues, and so I'm going to give it to Heather on the edge out there.
Mm.
All right, so looking ahead, here we go. We're jumping in. Since you're first place, we're gonna go with you last. So
Okay.
me versus Kevin. How am I feeling about this game? I have concerns for my team, if I'm being honest. I'm worried about Justin Herbert. Brees Hall, I'm worried about Brees Hall. Um, Yeah, I mean, Rico's going back in my lineup, obviously. I'm probably going to be going with Hampton. Uh, so I think the lineup I'm going to go with is Herbert, uh, probably Herbert, Rico, Hampton, George Pickens, and we'll get to the Patrick Holmes thing because it's going to impact you way more than me. But Rashi Rice is a question mark for me. What am I going to do with him? Am I going
Yeah.
to put him in the lineup? Am I not going to put him in the lineup? I'm definitely going with McBride. Jamar Chase, I feel like you got to stay in there. Jalen Waddle, like, put up a stinker. They just got the crap kicked out of him, but I'm probably going to still go with Jalen Waddle and then Jacoby Myers, and I'm probably going to be looking to change up the defense. So the question is, do I go Sam Darnold over Justin Herbert, which sounds crazy to say, but
No, not
Justin Herbert
really.
just has not been scoring well this late in the season.
Yeah,
And I picked up Shador Sanders on a whim. I don't know if anybody saw that.
I did see that.
After the 40-point game, he did not follow it up with a good game. So
No, not at
I'm
all.
I'm not going with him. So, but I am gonna. Sam Darnold's not out of the question for me. Also, like George Kittle, dude. I mean, he put up 26 points.
Yeah.
And so the question is, can I get some production out of him? Um, you know, even though Terry McBride put up 45 points last week, but could I get better production out of someone like Kittle than a Rashi Rice or something like that? A different combo there, or out of a Jalen Waddle. So I think those are some questions for me about optimization. Who's going to score me the most points? And I'm just going to have to make a gut call on some of these players.
Yeah.
I think Brees Hall, I think I got to move off him. I think he's done mentally for this season. I don't think he cares.
Man,
So,
it's like listening to a recording of myself
yeah, but
from last year.
that's not true. But early in the season, he was fine. But it's like now that
Yeah, fine. As your RB1 is fine. That's great.
just because he's in the RB1 spot doesn't mean he's my RB1.
Doesn't matter, man. He was your boy.
Yeah, you're an idiot. So anyway, those are the questions. Those are the questions for me that I really am kind of confused about. I think with Kevin, I think he's just got much of he kind of knows who he's going to be going with. I think at this point he's going with Goff, he's going with Barkley, he's going with Cook, he's going with St. Brown. Like these are like he's going with Pittman. He's probably going to go with Williams. Like he knows the people he's going to be riding with. And I think for him, it's like, hey, if they ball out, they're going to ball out, and I'm going to win. And that's just kind of his thing. I think I have a lot more coaching decisions to make than he does, and we'll just see how it plays out. So,
Yeah.
um, I just, yeah, I don't know. I've got to have. I feel like my team's got to just score. I need it. I feel like I'm going to need a 190-point performance plus to beat Kevin. That's how I feel. I feel like Kevin's going to score in the 180s for sure.
I mean, do you feel that because you actually feel that, or is it just because of recency bias? Because you got to remember, yeah, he put up a 200-point game, but this is coming off of 5 weeks of just crap numbers.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, a lot of the players that he has are on teams that are in situations where they have to win.
Hmm.
And they have to perform. Just like you said about the Eagles, like Saquon this could be a big game for Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going on the road in Washington late in the season. It's a must. It's a game that can lock them into the playoffs. They're probably, I mean, if it's cold, I don't know what the forecast is for Saturday. I know it's not going to be like freezing. I mean, it's going to be high of 49, low of 30. So, I mean, it's not going to be freezing, but it's definitely weather where they're going to probably run the ball more. So, I think that could be a huge game for Saquon, which could be big against me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it could be a little bit of recency bias. I'm not going to say it's not, but yeah, we're just going to have to see.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just think he has a much clearer path of who to play, and I am very much in the seat of like I got to figure it out.
Well,
So,
I think I can maybe help you with a little bit of your decisions. I think one of the easiest decisions is that if you want to quickly throw away your chance of the finals, you can just put Shedeur in as your quarterback, because that would be one of the stupidest things you could probably do. Brother, you're going to be meme of the year if you do that. The fight between Justin Herbert and Sam Darnold is kind of hard because it's almost like they're two cheeks from the same ass.
yeah, that's a great way to put
It's
it.
kind of hard because here's the thing: Justin Herbert is obviously the better quarterback, but he has the worst offensive line. But he's going against Dallas, and Dallas is not as good of a defense of Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is not as good of a quarterback, but he has JSN, who's one of the best wide receivers. But they're going against the Rams. Now, granted,
Yeah.
the Rams have already clinched a playoff spot. So is it which Rams is it going to be? Is it going to be the hard Rams, or is it going to be we've clinched the playoff spots already, so we're not really going to like go full force. And obviously Seattle still have stuff to play for. So it's
Yeah.
kind of hard. I probably would keep Justin Herbert because I think Justin Herbert has a higher floor with the matchup with the talent. Like I would trust Justin Herbert to get himself out of a crap situation than trusting Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
So that's probably,
Yeah, I mean, I'm
yeah.
probably going with Justin Herbert just because he's been my ride or die all season, and I'm just like a loyalty kind of guy. Like I'm just going to stick with what got
Which
you there.
I think it's fair.
And the fact that they do play the Cowboys like makes me feel better about playing him. So
Then Terry McBride over George Kittle. Terry McBride is the number one tight end in for fantasy.
well, no, Terry McBride's staying in. I'm saying George Kittle over maybe like Jalen Waddle or Rashee Rice.
Oh, well, Jalen, yeah, I mean, they're going against Cincinnati, and it's like both teams are out of the playoffs, so do they really care? Probably not. So that's kind of fair. I think that's a fair assessment. While George Kittle they go against Indianapolis, which is going to be challenging. So, yeah, I kind of see your situation there. You got a lot of different stuff. I mean, yeah, I think Hampton can go in, especially against that Cowboys defense. I think that would be nice to look at. Rico with Carolina against Tampa Bay. Don't hate it, but we're talking about flex options really. And yeah, I think you're right to move off of Brees Hall. I just don't think. I just
Right now, my lineup is Herbert, Rico, Hampton, Pickens, Jamar Chase, Terry McBride, Rashi Rice, Jalen Waddle, Jacoby Myers, and my defense. That's my lineup as of right now.
what was your two flex options?
Rashi Rice and Jalen Waddle.
Honestly, if I were you, if I had to choose where to put George Kittle, I'd probably put him in place of Rice, and that's mainly because Gardner Minshew is throwing against them. Again, is throwing to him, and I don't like that. But again, they're going against Tennessee. Tennessee's not great. That's a hard decision.
And
I probably
sometimes
still
it's
wouldn't
like,
go.
and sometimes it's like when you put the backup quarterback in, they're going to throw to the number one wide receiver no matter what. It's like
Or they're just going to run the ball like crazy, but they don't really have a running option.
Yeah, they got Kareem Hunt. That's all they have.
Ooh, man, this is hard.
Yeah,
This is hard.
So we'll see.
Yeah, that's definitely a head
up.
scratcher. You're definitely. I think the sad thing is that I don't think come Sunday, once Sunday 1:00 hits and everything's officially locked, I think you're gonna have regrets no matter what. Not like like you know that feeling when you finally say, you know what, screw it, inshallah, we're going with this team, and then you see them actually lock in, and you're like, shit, was that the right decision? I think you're going to have that feeling no matter what you pick. And that is the by far worst feeling in fantasy football is like, is that decision. We really went over you, but yeah, I agree. I think Kevin's team
It's like, well, what are you going to do with Kevin? Kevin knows what he's doing. Like, he's good.
Yeah. I mean, Detroit still has games that they need to play and they need to win. And they're going up against Pittsburgh. So that's going to be a hard game, but I mean, St. Brown went against the Rams and put up 50 points. Jared Goff went up against the Rams and put up 42 points. Like, they're going to do fine against Pittsburgh.
The one concern that I would say that I would have about Kevin is the same thing that Heather had, where it's like, can your team do that back-to-back weeks? Because Heather's team last week blew up.
Yeah.
For no reason. And it's like, she's like, damn, she just kept saying, she's like, I don't think my team's going to do that 2 weeks in a row. And they didn't. They did have a good performance, but it wasn't a 200-pointer. And so can Kevin's team do that 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah. And I think that's true. But I do think this week, I do think it has the chance because every single player he has, if he switches out Dalton Schultz for Strange. Oh, even Strange technically, but I would put in Dalton Schultz. Every single player he has, their team has something to play for.
Yeah.
Detroit has something to play for. Philly has something to play for. Buffalo has something to play for. Then it's Detroit and Philly again. Jacksonville Jaguars, or if you switch out Dalton Schultz, Houston, they're still in the hunt. Indianapolis, Detroit. The kicker's the kicker, but you know, that's the kicker. And then you switch out San Francisco for the Chargers, you know, which I think the Chargers could get something on Dallas. Dak Prescott loves to turn over the ball. Like, this is a team that is not giving up on anything right now.
No.
And they have pretty favorable matchups too.
It's a huge advantage for Kevin.
Yeah. I would see. The players I'd be most nervous about, Saquon and Devontae Smith, because they're going against that broken Commanders defense. They might put up crazy numbers.
I know. All right, we'll get into predictions in a second.
Okay.
But let's go to your game. And before we talk about you, because I think can't wait to hear your thoughts. Let's look at Shawn's team.
Okay.
And I mean, this dude is piecing it together somehow. I mean, if Dak can have a big game, like we said, and Bijan has to be Bijan, and he can get some production out of Justin Jefferson, I think he's got a decent shot of being super competitive against you.
100%.
And McMillan, it's a big game for Carolina, right? With Tampa Bay losing and they lost. If Carolina wins this game against Tampa Bay, they will be in first place in the division to get to the playoffs. They will be in the driver's seat to get to the playoffs. So it is a huge game for Carolina in Carolina. So McMillan could get some good action there. So I think that Shawn's team is lining up to have some pretty good performances. Bijan is going to be on the road at Arizona. It's a dome game. They play in a dome. That sets up very nicely for him. Arizona is not good.
Yeah.
So that is a solid matchup for him. So yeah, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen here. Justin Jefferson, they play against the Giants, absolute trash. Does he put up some big numbers? And I think that is going to be the difference maker for him. If I'm looking for two players that are going to make a difference for him, Bijan has to be Bijan, Dak has to Dak, but Justin Jefferson and McMillan have to put up 25 plus points. And I think if they can do that, he has a real strong shot at winning the game. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. Yeah, I mean, I think you've said it absolutely beautifully. Um, you know, his, I think a lot of it depends. I think a lot of his success in this game will depend on what happens with me and my team, which we'll get into. But yeah, I mean, Justin Jefferson and McMillan need to get with the program. They need to get points on the board. Egbuka, I was also going to include with that. Put up a nice 14 points, but I mean, before that was 3 points, 9 points, and 7 points. And you don't want that out of your wide receiver, too. They go against Carolina, so it's kind of the same inverse effect that McMillan has, where Egbuka needs to perform, which means that Baker needs to throw to him or whoever to win that game. And yeah, I'm nervous. I mean, I think the matchups are favorable. I don't know. I don't know how Dak will do. This might be cursing myself, but the Chargers have a very good defense. That's really the one thing that's keeping them alive in this playoff season. So either I eat my words and he goes absolutely off, or it's not going to be a great day for him. I don't think it's going to be a great day for Dak to go against the Chargers. Granted, it is at home, but regardless, I think Bijan's going to absolutely eat against the Cardinals, and that's just a no-brainer. So I'm expecting that. Chase Brown against Miami, that's kind of a toss-up because it's really like, it's two clowns sparring. Are they really going to break out the big guns, or are they just going to kind of do whatever? Justin Jefferson and McMillan need to do something, and I think Genty needs to do something as well. I think if he's going to put him in that, even in that flex position. I mean, we're talking about semifinals of the playoffs. Everybody needs to be locked online. Is Genty going to be locked online against Houston, where they're fighting for something, and Houston has a really good defense? I don't know. So,
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into why we're really all here. And this episode will be coming out after this was recorded before waivers are done. But so I will just go on record. I'm not going to do it because I don't need to do it. But you currently don't have a backup quarterback on your team.
I do not.
Let me just read this out to you. 22 points with the ACL tear. 18 points. 40, 37, 26, 21, 38, 41, 46. Patrick Mahomes has been putting up points. He's the number 2 quarterback in the league. He's the number 6 overall scoring player in the league. And you do not have him for your championship run. What are you going to do here? I mean,
so do you want me to give you my feelings as a Chargers fan or as a fantasy manager?
Well, I mean, you can give me your feelings as a Charger fan. I know how you feel.
I mean, as a Chargers fan, to sweep the Chiefs and to also eliminate them feels so sweet. But then when I found out that Patrick Mahomes was going to be out, I was like, it was like the "I'm in danger" meme. I was like, oh no, brother, because there's really 3 people that are my biggest flex of this team, and he was one of the linchpins.
And here's the thing.
It's rough.
Right now, you've got Purdy, Rodgers, Mariota, Jackson Dart, McCarthy. I mean,
There's CJ Stroud in
is.
there.
It is.
So I will
It
tell
is.
you,
It is bleak over here. You have $0 on the waivers.
I have $0 on the waivers.
The guy you were playing, Shawn, also has $0. So I don't know where you are in the Ross in the
let me
waiver
tell you
pickup.
what I'm planning on doing for this week alone. You need to put right hand to the Bible that you're not going to do something sneaky.
No, I'm not going to do it. I already put my waivers in, and it's
Okay.
not for a quarterback.
I put this waiver in. I don't know when I put it in. What day is it? I put this in yesterday afternoon. I'm going with CJ Stroud.
Okay.
The reason why, CJ Stroud just put up a decent 34-pointer. They're going against Vegas, and they're in the hunt for playoffs.
Okay.
And I think that is the best case. Now, I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to find out if I have him. And if I don't, then I guess I'm going for old Philly Rivers or someone I don't even know at that point.
I mean, the big brain play here, but here's the thing. Shawn is a nerd. So, I mean, he could do it. I mean, the big brain
Shawn
play
has
would
a
be
chance
for,
to do the most
for
the funniest
Shawn,
thing is just to pick up CJ Stroud.
If Shawn somehow picks up CJ Stroud, that would be shocking. If he looks through these matchups.
I think I'm ahead of him in the waivers.
How do you tell that? I don't even know where to look at.
If you go, are you on the actual like website?
I'm on the website, yeah.
So if you look at standings, you can see your name underneath points for, points against. Then it says waivers, your dollars, and then in parentheses it has a number. I think that's a waiver order. So the order goes Caleb.
Oh, I see 10. Yeah, I see
Caleb,
what you're saying.
So the order goes Caleb, then Katie, then who's third? Then Gordon. Caleb doesn't need another quarterback. Katie doesn't need another quarterback. And Gordon doesn't need another quarterback. So unless one of them does a madness, I should have CJ Stroud.
You should be good. Yeah. So you'll be good.
And my backup plan, if somehow absolute catastrophe happens on my end. One sec. I'll be honest, I haven't looked at the other possible quarterbacks. Gardner Minshew, Kirk Cousins, JJ. Oh, did someone? Oh, Philip Rivers is still available. I'd probably go Philip Rivers for the memes, because at that point, I might be cooked, my guy. Because really, like, I mean, as you said, like, I think my team is solid, but my team has three main linchpins, which was Patrick Mahomes, Jahmyr Gibbs, JSN. I'm hoping that a CJ Stroud against a terrible defense in Las Vegas will at least make up some of it. Because even though Patrick Mahomes has done absolutely fantastic, I mean, 22 points, 18 points, he's had some mid-20 points. So if CJ Stroud can get me a mid-20s points, I think that will at least weather. I feel like that will weather the storm. Especially if he is going against Dak Prescott against a Chargers defense. That's kind of my mindset. Am I going to run CJ Stroud into the finals or into the third place matchup? Well, who does CJ Stroud play after that? Sorry, one sec. Then he goes against the Chargers. So it's like, I might be looking for another quarterback at that point. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's definitely a blow. It's definitely awful to see. I do all of this work. I get the number 1 seed, and then one of my biggest linchpins goes out. And hey, I'm gonna put my hands up, right hand to God right now. If I lose this matchup, if I lose the playoffs, if I even finish 4th and I lose my next 2 matchups, I lose this one and I lose the 3rd place matchup and I don't get my money back, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, I could have done it with Mahomes, yada, yada, yada. This is how fantasy works. Sometimes you're riding high and next thing you know, your star player gets an injury. And this is now my chance to hopefully show my fantasy prowess. You know, maybe the CJ Stroud pickup is the move that helps me survive. Because right now, that's the best option.
I will say one thing. If you pick up CJ Stroud and he puts up a 40-point performance or even like a 30-plus point performance and you win, and I mean, that's a feather in your cap.
Yeah.
That's so.
And even if he doesn't, it's kind of like, I mean, what else do I have? It's Gardner Minshew against Tennessee, but it's Gardner Minshew, Tyler Slow, Kirk Cousins, JJ McCarthy, Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers, and then Marcus Mariota. So it's like the pickings are slim. I think CJ Stroud is probably the best option overall.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
all right. So here we go.
Well, outside of that, do we want to do the analysis of the rest of the team quickly?
What's the rest of your team is solid. Like, what else are you going to analyze this?
Okay.
I guess one thing I would say is that T. Higgins is out, so you got to fill that gap.
Is he still going to be out technically? Because it was out with a concussion.
It just says out on here. I don't know if he's going to be out for next week.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think right now the game plan is Jahmyr Gibbs, Bucky Irving are my 2 starting running backs. That's obvious. JSN, starting wide receiver 1. That's an obvious lock. Jacoby Myers against Denver. He's been balling out recently, but I don't know if I'm going to keep him. DeAndre Swift is probably going to be my keep. Even though they're going against Green Bay, Micah Parsons is out. That is going to be a huge detriment to their run defense. And DeAndre Swift has been cooking. Right now, it's between T. Higgins, Tyrone Tracy, who has actually been doing decent, and Juwan Jennings against Indianapolis. And that's probably, unless T. Higgins comes out of this concussion and is good to go, but it's not showing 0 points. So that's why I still have him in there, but I have until Sunday.
Gotcha.
I don't think I have any Thursday games. Oh, I have JSN as my first Thursday game. So, yeah. So I don't need to worry about that until... I guess I need to worry about my tight end option because Barner plays on Thursday, but I'm probably not going to play him. So
I honestly don't feel, and we'll just do it right now. Let's do predictions. So we'll go to my game.
Okay.
I think for me, I feel like just based off of the blow up followed by a lower performance, I don't think Kevin scores 200 again. I think he potentially scores in the 180s. I think for me to feel comfortable about winning, I need to see a 190 point performance or more from my team. But I think that my team gets it done. I think that my team can find a way to win and wins this week, and I will see myself in the finals. What are your predictions for my game?
I think the same thing. I think Kevin is right now riding a lot of waves, and you have consistently, you've put up the most 200 points in the league. And if you look at the analysis from last week's games, without you even really caring, or I'm assuming you didn't even really set your lineup or really care about your lineup.
No, I didn't set it. Yeah.
So you put up 173 without even paying attention. So you're saying you need a 190 point game. You're less than 20 points off of that right then and there. So I think the likelihood of you getting a 190 point game is more likely than Kevin getting another 200 point game back to back.
If I score 190 and Kevin beats me,
is what it is at that point.
I'll tip my cap to Kevin.
Is what it is. That's just fantasy. Sometimes
that's right.
You're not the one out there making the catches. So, but I think you get it. I would say safely I have to go with you.
Okay. I think going to your game, even with the Patrick Mahomes injury, when you look at the rest of your team, I think you still have enough to get it done. I think this makes things a lot more interesting. I think that before this, I would probably put you in the 85% chance of winning. I think this puts you down in the 60s, like between 60 and 70%. So it's not a guarantee that you're going to win because you got a big wild card in here right now. Because the thing about having Patrick Mahomes is not only did you have Patty Mahomes, but they had so much to play for. He was slinging that thing. He was trying to win. So now, if you go with CJ Stroud, he's still in the same position. So I think
but not as talented.
Not as talented. I still think you have enough pieces on your team with the people that you've mentioned to get it done. However, like I said, I think if Justin Jefferson and McMillan put up good scores and then he gets a little extra sprinkling of Genty in there, you're gonna be sweating. Your butthole's gonna be tight. You're gonna be clenching them butt cheeks.
Yeah.
Because that is where Shawn has gotten wins, and those people haven't really like consistently all put together. So I think if his team can come together in this game, he definitely. The question has always been like, who has the top end bandwidth to win? Like, do you have that potential? And I think with Patch, I think your top end bandwidth dropped, and I think Shawn, it's dropped enough where now if Shawn can meet that bandwidth.
I'm within striking distance now.
He's within striking distance. So I think you get the win. I think the boys see the podcast bros see each other in the finals. But I think your game is very interesting.
It would also be funny after all of this flack, all of this just ish talking, if the Girly Girls are fighting for 5th place and the Podcast Boys are fighting for 3rd, and they don't even get a sniff of the finals. That would be hilarious overall. And honestly, would probably be fair. I think I can't make a full analysis until I see CJ Stroud in my QB. Because if I don't get him, if something crazy happens and I'm relying on a Gardner Minshew, I don't think I get it, Chief. I just don't. Or a Phillip Rivers. I don't think I get it, Chief, but
I mean,
I think also I also think the idea of is T Higgins going to be in or is T Higgins going to be out as well, cuz he was, when he was on, just the week before he was out, he got me 30 points. So it's like, those are points that I would love to have right now. So I think if I have CJ Stroud, I have the tools to make it. If I don't have CJ Stroud and I go for someone else, I think Shawn has it. That's how it's going to be, and it is what it is at that point, and that's just how fantasy goes.
What do you feel like is your number that if you score that number and Shawn beats you, you're like, it is what it is? Like mine's like 190. What do you think yours is?
Looking at Shawn's previous scores, 160, 160, 180, 170, 190, 170. I think if I hit, it seems like he is consistently hitting the 160, 170 mark consistently. High floor right there. So if I hit 180, I feel like unless madness happens, I'm feeling pretty secure. I'm feeling pretty good.
Gotcha.
If
you score 180 and Shawn beats you, you're like,
if I wake up Friday morning after the Thursday night game and JSN just throws me a nice little 70-pointer, then we're chilling. We're chilling. I don't have to worry about anything then. My feet are up for the rest of the weekend, and I'm relaxed. That's what I need. JSN 70 points against the Rams. Like a 1% chance that happens.
Yeah.
But we're going for it.
Well, hey, we're here, man. This is it. This is the quarterfinal or the semifinals right here.
I've sharpened my sword. It's got a nick in it, but it's sharp, and I'm ready to battle.
That's right, baby. All right. Hey, podcast world. Love you guys. We got it done. It's late. Knocking it out. Time to ride or die, baby. Time to see what's up.
Love y'all.
Things start hot on Thursday night with JSN going out.
Getting that 70 points for me. It's going to be easy. Good luck to everyone. Good luck to Shawn. Good luck to Kevin. Good luck to the Girly Girls battling. And anyone else, who's irrelevant, we salute you. This has been Mike and Will.
We out.
Till next week.
Football, football. Football, football, football. Football, football, football. Football, football, football. Football, football, football.